Rising rents, high home prices, that plays a major part of all of this. Is there relief?
Okay, guys, this is today is actually today is May the 15th, 2024. I say actually on purpose, so that you guys know that this is the same sort of communication pathology, not criminal pathology. There's no criminality affiliated with me, but this is a communication pathology. I'll consistently say actually, and I'll consistently look the same because I am the same person at all time, and I'll consistently sound the same because I sound the same at all times, for the most part. Every once in a while I'm hoarse, and every once in a while I sound a bit more nasal, without sounding annoying, but a bit more nasal than other times. But for the most part, this is what I sound like. So yes, this is still Shawn Dexter John. I am still in Orlando, Florida. This is still 2024, May 2024. This is not a joke. And,
is it better to be a buyer or a seller right now?
Okay.
Well, I think that right now you have to be a seller because there's a lot of inventory.
So yeah. And I want you guys to know that I'm using my Samsung Galaxy A12 2023 model, a smartphone. So that's why the videography, that's why the video recording seems a bit more up to date. The actual,
it shows that
the visual itself, the actual
debt continues to rise, right? And the thing that's weird is that
I guess that's explanatory enough. I guess that's detailed enough. But anyway, I'm gonna write. Yes, as you can see here in Orlando, Florida, early in the morning it's actually raining today. It's May the 15th, 2023. It's been raining all night long, apparently. So we are approaching hurricane season, and you can see that it rained all night long. And wow, it actually. You can see that it rained all night long. Okay, this is Orlando, Florida. And so I'm gonna write a work paper. Today I'm gonna author another work paper. I think I should be able to use my Moxee tablet. If it does not charge up, sufficiently enough by the time I leave the house, that I might use my smartphone. I've used my smartphone consistently before from time to time, especially when I had my Motorola smartphone, very professional model. I did write a lot of my work papers and work reports on my smartphone while auditing a particular neighborhood. I had stuff to do. I had to speak with folks. I had a document who moved to the city of Orlando, from Haiti and all over, wherever else, So we're gonna make sure that the integration process or the integration project or program, here in Central Florida and in South Florida will be competent, will be pragmatic, will be effective, certainly effectual, and so forth, and it will be successful in the long run. Commendable in the short run, but certainly successful.
We got something crazy.
Successful in the long run. Okay, guys. So, but anyway, I'm gonna write a work paper today. I'm gonna author a work paper today, and I'm gonna publish it myself. I'm gonna publish it myself, and as usual, on my blog site, my website, ShawnDexterJohn.wordpress.com. I don't have 3 websites. I only have 1 website. It's a blog, ShawnDexterJohn.wordpress.com. I want you to know that I'm also going to publish it on Scribd.com, SCRIBD.com. I'm also going to have it posted on my LinkedIn account. I'm also going to have it. Posted on my Facebook and Instagram account and Twitter account. I'm going to have it documented and stored there also, as well as my private databases and CIA and INTERPOL offices here in Florida and elsewhere, just to make sure that everything is copacetic. So the work paper, this is what it's going to be on. It's going to be it's a work paper, the legal and political tenets of our alliance with the Japanese government, essentially. The Japanese government in denoting the I guess a foundational philosophy or foundational protocol on defense system or military activism. Japan will help sell the non-militarization of the Asia Pacific as a future continental union. So the formula that we do have for Japan, which has worked over the past few decades, just defense motivated and not aggressive, not too ambitious, not over assertive, will serve as a foundational principle or protocol or argument for the non-militarization of the continental union of the Asia Pacific in the future. In 3 to 4 decades, we will have a union of the Asia Pacific or Asia Pacific Union, and just like the other 4 unions which are going to be created, it will not have a military, a continental military. It'll have a security system supported by the militaries of the member states, but certainly not over aggressive or aggressive at all, and certainly not over ambitious, and certainly not over assertive. It's going to be based on technology more so than aggressive arsenal, and by then, certainly not just nominally but culturally, nuclear warfare will no longer be poignant in its explanation or its former existence. In 30, 40 years, we will certainly be accustomed of redeclaring over and over and over the treaty which we are certain to sign in 2026 or 2027 or 2028, which abolishes nuclear warfare, a treaty which will be signed and ratified by the United Nations General Assembly for the most part, or via some sort of convention supported by the United Nations, is going to abolish nuclear warfare for good, egregious WMDs and nuclear weapons, in general, over assertive nuclear weapons in general, those prone to being highly destructive, highly threatening of infrastructure and people. So we have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of work to do. But clearly I have a real job. Okay. All right. Okay. Clearly, I'm the person who runs the Central Intelligence Agency. In all honesty, clearly, my cover is being removed. Clearly, I'm in the process of acquiring and not acquiring. It's mine. I'm in the process of officializing and nominalizing my identity as Khalid Sundiata Hassan, and I am, in all honesty, I am the chief manager of the United States government and its partnerships. I am the nominal manager of the Central Intelligence Agency and INTERPOL. Okay, I've been quite humble over the past 15 years. Even when I've gone all over the country and all over the world, the governments have documented that I've shown up damn near not in every country, but I've shown up consistently where I needed to show up, certainly on every continent. And I've spoken to United Nations representatives and those governments. Okay? So they know who I am. They know who Shawn Dexter John is. They know who I am in secret, as I have explained in declassifying top secret information temporarily. And so this is So the aliases I used in traveling all over the world and the mechanism I used to doing so, I'm not going to have to elaborate on, too assertively or aggressively. I'm just not going to, it's eventually that'll be something that I will reveal to a small class of people, a circle that will be able to comprehend it. I don't want to scare people too much. Okay. So, yes, I do have children with Dua Lipa. I do have children with Japanese actresses and Chinese actresses and so forth, and Australian, professionals and this and this and that. I've been all over the world. I do have children with the purported wife of Nick Jonas, the Indian immigrant, famous actress. Okay, so I've been all over the world rescuing angels, rescuing people who apparently are highly intelligent and have a cover that is commendable to the industry, so that my kids, who are certain to be at least superbly brilliant, if not genius, will be able to easily access the industry that their parents, that their mothers have been occupied with it. Okay, so that's how we got into that. That's how me and my quote unquote baby mamas made sense out of the procreation program that I have for myself, that the Central Intelligence Agency has secured and protected, and INTERPOL is certainly capable of protecting itself. So I do have a kid with Meghan Markle. I do have children with Zoe Saldana and Christina Milian. I do have children. I do have a kid with Britney Spears. I do have a kid with Christina Aguilera. I am still certain of this. I do have a kid with Miley Cyrus. I do have a kid with Beyonce. This top secret. I do have a kid now confirmed with Rihanna. I do have thousands of kids, in all honesty. That's what I've done over the past 15, 16 years while auditing the United States, Canada, and the Caribbean officially as my primary cover. But yeah, so I don't know what else to say. But yeah, I'm gonna write this work paper today. I'm gonna have it published certainly, and I did not get a lot of sleep last night. I might have gotten a few hours of sleep last night, but yeah, I should be able to function well enough today. Also, But what else should I have to touch bases on? Yes, and I do have 3 children with Rashida Williams. Okay, and she's going to be my nominal wife. She has earned keeping me at her side at all times. We are going to reunite very soon in a few weeks. And Heaven and Mac as Khaled and Nicole Hassan. And my other angels are going to be in South Florida with me. The 3,000 women plus the 3,000 women, around 3,000 at this particular point, who are going to have my kid, or who already have my kids, or who are going to have additional kids, or a few who are going to newly have my kids. Okay, so South Florida will respond to the NATO warnings already sent to the city of Miami, and explaining that we're going to move people out, and a CIA training ground is going to be in the city of Miami. Shawn, Dexter, John has explained it already. Folks who have been vacationing from New York and California and Miami and the rest of South Florida, they're just going to have to move out, go back to wherever they came from, and move elsewhere. The CIA is going to take up the city of Miami and South Florida. Okay, for operative purposes, we are going to create the EAA, the Free Trade and Economic Area of the Americas, EAA, in a couple of years. And we're going to create, at the same time, the Supreme Tribunal of the Americas, and at the same time, the General Assembly of the Americas. And we're also going to create open borders between the United States and Canada within that same treaty. It's going to be a supplemental provision or attached to that same treaty that the Free Trade and Economic Agreement of the Americas, in correspondence with the EAA. So, and the General Assembly of the Americas will be located in the Commonwealth of Dominica. It's going to be located in Marigot, right next to the international airport, which is being built right now. It'll be built by the end of next year. I'm pretty sure of it. So it should maybe by the end of this year. I'm not too sure. Okay, but by the end of next year, I'm almost certain of it. But the building itself, the General Assembly of the Americas, is going to be located there, and Dominica is going to be declared officially the first associate state of the United States. It's going to maintain its sovereignty, and it'll be independent enough, but it'll be certainly within the American system. It will remain a member state of the Organization of American States and the EAA and the United Nations. It will be a nation state moving forward, but it'll be peculiar. It means an associate state of the United States within the American system, nominally, formally, and eventually under interpreted constitutional protection. It's going to be part of an evolution to get it to that point, as declared as protected with respect to the benefits to the citizens of the Commonwealth of Dominica and American citizens in the Commonwealth of Dominica, constitutional protections. So yeah, I'm going to take my angels on vacations at times to visit the General Assembly of the Americas and so forth, and that's the rest of the Eastern Caribbean and so forth. All right, so that's what we're going to do over the next decades and so forth, especially when we first start out and the kids are able to comprehend politics and so forth. All right, so yeah. Okay, so Jamaica did not win that war. Jamaica was never going to be an associate state of the United States, and we're not even going to call it an American republic. There's just no point. The Caribbean community is going to become so Americanized for the most part. The totality of it, and the Commonwealth of Dominica is so humble and so appropriate as an associate state of the United States within the CARICOM itself. There's no point in us having to overexert Jamaica being an American republic to certain people culturally. There's no point, because we need Jamaica to be able to stand out as a prominent in the future, or the growing future, prominent, independent and sovereign state, nation state. So we thought it out. Jamaica will be able to stand out as that. Dominica will never be able to stand out as a prominent exceptional, independent and sovereign nation state, and they accept that. There's only 80,000 people in the Commonwealth of Dominica. Most have moved to the United States already. Over 30,000 have moved to the United States already, per my request ever since childhood, in anticipation of doing what we are doing right now. It's going to be completely Americanized over the next 10, 20, 30 years, completely, shockingly Americanized. The Commonwealth of Dominica is going to be almost like a territory of the United States, and even more so, American in its instructive value, okay, than the territories of the United States, obviously. So, okay, so that's what we have planned. That's what we do have planned, and no one is going to be able to get in the way. And this is what's going to happen, okay, guys? Eventually, we're going to get to the point of the U.S. military, specifically the Marines or the U.S. Navy, will strike a building or two in Port-au-Prince, in Haiti, and it will lead to Haiti immediately being allowed into the EAA, and Haiti being completely orderly and stable enough to be competent enough in responding to the economic benefits we have prepared for that particular country in responding to United Nations General Assembly and United Nations Security Council resolutions. So that's how that comes to an end. We're going to have an American footprint, and not just a footprint, but American presence in Haiti, and it's not going to be articulated as military aggressive. It's just going to be articulated as defense and security motivated. Okay? And so Guyana is not going to be subjected to any military strike by the United States in fighting Venezuela, but Venezuela will succumb to a strike or two by the United States military over the next 2 years eventually. And it will no longer threaten Guyana and the CARICOM It'll no longer claim that the Eastern Caribbean is subject to the Venezuelan economic jurisdiction. It's never going to claim that again. And Nicolas Maduro will be removed from office. I'm going to remove him from office. We're going to fake his death, and he's just going to move on. I was not wrong as a kid in having kicked out Hugo Chavez. I communicated as a kid to him, as a youngster to him, that he should be proud to be Native American, and in being of Amerindian, well, not Native American, Amerindian, and in being Amerindian, he should have seen it fit to allow Afro Venezuelans into his government and into his party as officers and stuff. And he said hell no to it. So we removed him out of government. We faked his death and we removed him out of government. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do with Nicolas Maduro. He said no to Afro Venezuelan, and he was bragging about it. I said, all right, we'll see. Okay, so that's where we are going to go with this. Okay, guys? So the Secretariat of the Caribbean Community, CARICOM, is going to remain in Georgetown, and it's going to be untouched. And the Caribbean community is going to protect the United States and be a lead in the Americas and lead on the global stage. It really is going to protect us. Vote-wise, in having political values and being able to articulate both conservative and liberal theories based on on political and economic and social agreements and customs over the past half century or so, and being completely American moving forward. It's going to have that sort of clout. And so this is the reality that we are facing. Okay, guys? But, this is the good reality that we are facing, but we are facing the reality of having to accept that Venezuela has to be struck once or twice, and that Haiti has to be struck, I'm pretty sure once. Okay? Not nuclear, nothing of that nature. Just removing the standing governments or their particular leaders, their respective leaders. Okay? The Eastern Caribbean is not going to have any sort of war cry, and it's not going to have any sort of war conflict or any of that. It's just not going to have to go through that. Speaking of the islands, per se. Okay? The Eastern Caribbean states. And yes, and there will be the Eastern Caribbean states. It will not be known as the Union of Eastern Caribbean States. They're just going to be known as the Eastern Caribbean States. And their joint embassies and so forth will be able to broadcast and articulate that everywhere they decide to jointly represent themselves. And culturally, they will consider themselves Eastern Caribbeans. Barbados and will be allowed to enter into the Eastern Caribbean states, community. Not a community. It's not gonna offset anything in the Caribbean community. They're gonna be firmly CARICOM members, but they'll be Eastern Caribbeans. Okay, so that's how they culturally. They'll be quite prominent in banking. They'll be quite prominent in music. Per se, and in having a peculiarity when it comes to that. And they will maintain their hospitality, tourism sector as being naturally exceptional, just based on the realities of their makeup. Okay, so yeah, we have a lot of work to do, man. We do have a lot of work to do, but there's a lot of good that's going to come out of what we have no other choice to stage instead of allow any sort of lingering conflict or global conflict to coerce some sort of real world war that's unmitigatable. So once again, this is what we are saying. The global war we are certainly approaching or actually underway. The global war underway, or we are approaching. However you want to perceive what is going on right now, will be staged completely for the most part. It'll be completely staged, and it will lead to the abolition of nuclear warfare and continental military buildup, and it will lead to to the EAA. It will lead to the world government in 2044. It will lead to the Union of the Americas in 2049. It will lead to the African Union owning the majority stake of the IMF. It will lead to Europe being conquered, not wickedly, but being conquered philosophically and even systematically. Certainly systematically and certainly nominally by the European Union, backed by NATO. All of Europe will be incorporated into the European Union, and we will create a West Asia concept, and we will popularize the Asia-Pacific concept, and just state that the Indo-Pacific terminology was not insufficient per se, or backward in any sort of way. Just it was not representative of what we are going to do with Asia Pacific. India is going to be completely West Asia. It's going to have its own union with the rest of West Asia and South Asia. So we cannot say Indo-Pacific much longer. We're going to have to popularize the term Asia Pacific. Okay, so that's gonna occur. The complete popularization of the term will occur by the end of this global war, the last World War. Okay. And yes, I do want you guys to know I did clean up the coffee stain that you guys saw on the floor in the video recorded and posted on YouTube from yesterday. Published yesterday on YouTube. So I did mop it up. That's just a coffee stain, okay? That's just a coffee stain. That's not anything else. And I don't drink coffee, but my tenants, the program tenants, they do security detail. Actually, is what they are, but I just have to add. But yeah, they drink coffee. Okay. So yeah, as you can see. You can see this is Golf Vista Court, Saracen. Intersection, Golf Vista Court, Saracen. Intersection here in Orlando, Florida. Okay. So